Here it is. R.I.P. Grandpa Fred. You would have loved my giant liquor store sign. Hello everybody, welcome back to the vlog. The cohort ahead of me has finally graduated, meaning that I am now officially a third year MFA student and have about a year to put together my thesis show. My therapist did tell me that now that I am in my last year that I should take pictures. She's like, oh, always have your camera with you and like take pictures places. So I'm taking that a step further and a step more chronically online. So I'm gonna be vlogging a lot of the stuff that involves my MFA thesis. I imagine a lot of things are gonna change, they're gonna shift, they're gonna pivot, but I feel good, actually. I'm not panicking. I'm working on several pieces already that I intend to be in the show. The first one you can kind of see behind the cigarette bead door. That is probably the piece that got me into grad school, if I'm being honest. That's the liquor store sign from my previous video. I finished it. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more of like an in-depth look at it. I'm currently working on more cigarettes, which I guess is a theme in my work. So they're called Cowgirl Killers. I've been crocheting these plushy cigarettes. Like this one, this is the most recent one that I made. These are currently going to go into a show that I've been trying to get into, by the way, for 5 years. W. Megan. So we're working on that. I want like 100 of them. And so far I'm at 38. We're making progress. I was hoping by April I'd have 50. LMFAO, but it's fine. Progress is progress. It is seldom linear. I also started another tapestry project now that I've finished the liquor store sign. I'm making a giant 7-Eleven sign. It doesn't look huge right now, but it is also still gonna be hard to show this because it's still on the skeins. I am approximately a third of the way finished. It is 120 rows tall, and then it is 240 stitches long. It is giving Italian flag right now, and I'm aware of that, and I'm fine with that. In fact, I think when I finish, my reward is gonna be my yearly rewatch of Jersey Shore. It will look more like a 7-Eleven sign, I promise. I made this pattern myself based off of sort of the older 7-Eleven sign. I'm sure some people are wondering, Megan, why a 7-Eleven? Why a liquor store? Number one, I'm a little white trash. A lot of my work comes from a postmodern critique of the romanticization of rural life. Basically, for people who also don't have an MFA, I grew up in a small town, and so not only dealing with that, but also showing the real picture. You know, if we want to talk about rural life, let's really talk about it. You know what I mean? The liquor store sign, the 7-Eleven sign, I feel like those are the businesses that anchor a lot of small towns. I think there's a lot of people who want you to think that rural life is basically just like wide open spaces, Chick-fil-A, and Hobby Lobby. Oh, I did come up with a name right now. The working title for my thesis is Everybody Wants to Be a Cowgirl. Come on, kids, let's talk about a postmodernist critique of rural life. Why don't we? Yeehaw. I have been doing quite a lot of research for my thesis as well. Right now I'm reading Jesus and John Wayne by Kristen Kobes-Dumez. And really talks about how evangelicalism isn't so much of a theological thing, it's more drawing from nostalgia, pop culture, capitalism, which I feel like is something that is very relevant in my work. So this liquor store sign is very significant because this was the sign of the liquor store that was my grandpa's favorite. Actually, turns out it was both my grandpa's favorite, but I don't like the other one, so I don't care about his opinion. Oh, can you see it? There we go. Here it is. R.I.P. Grandpa Fred. You would have loved my giant liquor store sign. Here it is a little closer. All right. Crocheted all of that. I made the pattern on Siddlefitch. Turns out, like, one of my favorite websites right now for crocheting. The black actually is the Big Twist black tinsel, and then actually all of this is Big Twist. Shout out Big Twist, RIP to my goat, Joanne's. Gone, but never, ever forgotten. Now there are a lot of strings at the bottom. I actually really like how those look. I really want to try to display this so that instead of something like this, you can actually like see both sides. Because the back kind of reminds me of electrical wires. I don't know, I think it looks cool. I think it looks hot, fly, sexy, and beautiful in the back too. I did recently submit this to a show. Fingers crossed that it gets accepted, because that way that's like 2 parts of my thesis that have already been shown. It also helps to give me an idea of like, how do I want these displayed? I do think that after the 7-Eleven sign, I might get to work on the thesis wall sign, because obviously I want to crochet that too. Like these, if anything, these are just practice for the thesis sign that you usually see when you go to a show. You'll usually see the title, the artist name, and then it's called a didactic, right? So a couple words to help you like introduce yourself to the work. I don't think I'll be able to crochet the didactic just because that's a lot. They're very wordy. I did fool around with the idea of embroidering my didactic, but if I'm being honest here, I fear carpal tunnel is coming for me, divas. So diva down. Anyways, that's enough out of me for today. Thank you so much for watching my second vlog on this channel. My first sort of delve into my thesis. I'm really excited. Subscribe for some cigarettes. All right. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Yeehaw!